Another day, another chance to do something with my life. Another day, I'm gonna stay in bed. These were the thoughts of a young man currently laying on his bed. The curtains were closed, so it was relatively dark inside the room. One could faintly see the posters on the wall. He also had shelves around his room, displaying his figurines and rare comic books. There were also pictures of famous cosplayers from conventions he had gone to. This boy was named Nate, and he was 20 years old. He had short black hair, all messed up from his bedhead. He wasn't wearing a shirt, leaving his slightly toned chest uncovered. He was wearing basketball shorts and black socks. He had a bored expression on his face. Nate was a high school graduate. Well, it had been 3 years since he had graduated. He now spent his time at home having nothing to do. His older sister Peppermint was always bugging him. As you may have guessed from the name, she was a cat girl. He didn't understand it yet, but in this world, cat girls were a thing. They were born like humans, but were more cat than human. Humanoid was the closest thing to labeling them. Thing was, they had normal human lifespans as well, so they could live longer than the average cat. Before he was born, his mother had adopted her, so she was around 2 years older than he was. His mother wasn't home, luckily being at work, and his scumbag father had left him after he was born. You know that if he ever saw or met him, he'd beat the shit out of him. He sighed and rolled over, looking at the picture on his night table. It was of himself when he was just starting middle school. His older sister was hugging him tightly, her tail swaying around. He didn't know what breed of cat she was, but he knew that she had a light gray tail, along with long gray hair and pointed gray ears. A golden bell hung from her neck, allowing her to attend school with him. Her light blue eyes sparkled in the sunlight. He smiled slightly at the memories. That was until he heard his door open. He groaned as the lights turned on. Seriously, you're still in bed. What the hell, little brother? A feminine voice called out. He looked at the doorway, seeing his pissed-off sister glaring at him. Peppermint had matured early in life, so most of the traits she had now were the ones she gained around her late teens. She still had her long gray hair, one reached down to her mid-back. She was wearing a light pink top, which left her midriff exposed, along with matching black skinny jeans and brown boots. She had a decently sized chest, which got her a lot of attention from the male population. She had her hands at her hips. Pepper, I don't feel like doing anything, so just chill out and let me wallow in my room, he replied. She walked further into the room and threw the curtains open, letting in the sunlight and causing the teen visible pain. You are hopeless. You graduated high school with amazing grades, better than me, and yet I still have the high-end job. Is that really what you plan on doing for the rest of your life? She asked. Her golden bell jingled a bit as she walked. I plan on doing it for a few hours, he said. He grabbed a fresh shirt from his closet, along with a pair of blue jeans and his leather cowboy boots. Get dressed. We're going out, she said firmly, leaving the room. He sighed angrily and sat up. He pulled off his basketball shorts and grabbed his jeans, putting them on one leg at a time. He grabbed his shirt, noticing the paw print on it. He rolled his eyes and put on his body. He walked over to his vanity mirror and grabbed a brush, brushing his hair a bit, though no matter what he did, it would be forever spiky. He put on his boots and grabbed his jacket, putting it on but leaving it unzipped. He headed downstairs, finding his sister drinking a glass of milk. You know, if you keep drinking milk like that, you'll get chubby. Haha, very funny, she said. She looked him over, nodding to herself. So where exactly are we going? Around. It's a bit cold out today, but we can make the most of it. It's Christmas Eve after all, she said with a smile. She washed the glass she had used and set it on the dish rack. Nate grabbed his house keys and slipped them in his pocket, along with his phone, charger, and wallet. He followed his sister outside, firmly closing the door behind him. His front yard was covered in the receding snow. It had snowed a few days prior, nothing major, but enough to cover the now dried grass. The trees around him were all bare, save for a few shrubs and the evergreen trees that stayed green year-round. A few brown leaves from fall flew in the cold breeze. He shivered a bit and headed to the passenger's side of his sister's car. She unlocked the door and let him inside. I still can't believe Mom bought you a car, he said, closing the door. He settled into the seat, shivering a bit. That's because I'm a mature, bell-holding cat girl. This is my reward for getting that certification. I was just too young at the time, and I have a high-end job as a model, she said. Yes, Peppermint, you remind me of the fact that you are a fashion model and are swimming in millions of dollars, he said. She jabbed his ribs, earning a small cry of pain from him. She slipped the key into the ignition and turned the car on. The engine roared to life, making her smile a bit. Nate quickly turned the heat on, rubbing his hands together. Sissy? Screw you, he said, blowing a raspberry at her. She took her head and shifted into reverse, slowly pulling out of the driveway. So, sis, where are you modeling next? Milan? London? He asked curiously. I'm going to Las Vegas, actually. The spring line for my boss is about ready, and they want us to start practicing. Luckily, we are all cat girls, so we don't have to worry about the mean remarks we get. Mom is gonna be there too. For once, I'd actually like it if you showed up to one, she said. You know, I feel awkward at those types of things, especially around your friends, he said. Oh, you're embarrassed because my friends adore you. But seriously, I'd love it if you came with me to Las Vegas this year. It would mean a lot if my favorite brother attended one. I'm your only brother, he said. They stopped at a red light. Enough time for her to pinch his arm through his jacket prevented her from inflicting any pain. Asshole, you're lucky that is a fluffy jacket, she said firmly. The light turned green and she drove off. Man, I'm surprised the streets are this dead. It's Christmas Eve, he said, glancing out the window. Well, we haven't made it to the inner city yet, Peppermint said. Glancing at him for a second, she noticed his phone in his hands, seeing that he was texting someone. Who are you texting? She asked. My girlfriend Brittany. She says hi, by the way. He said. Peppermint scoffed and kept looking at the road in front of her. If she hated anyone in life, it was definitely Brittany. She was a girl a year younger than her brother and very good looking. She had a body to die for, with perfect breasts and ass. She had long blonde hair, which she usually dyed the ends of in some stupid color. She had a decent fashion sense, but since she was a fashion model, it took a lot to impress her.